Hi everyone, my name is Yogesh, and today in this video we are going to talk about web development training. So this video is going to be suppose will be based on web development training, and we are going to cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, not in very much depth, but we'll actually see that how can we make use of it, because these are the things that are going to help us in for longer run. And before directly beginning with this video, I'll suggest you that this video is actually a part of our new playlist on web development, in which we'll be covering full stack web development, including MongoDB, Express, R for React.js, and for Node.js. That is one stack. So it's going to focus on that. And apart from that, you'll also get videos related to AngularJS and many much more. So make sure that you have watched all the videos. Otherwise, you may lose the momentum because this video is in the sequence. Although this video is going to consist of, or what we are going to learn in this video is going to be focused on what are the things that are going to help us in longer run, or what are the things that we are going to resolve, or how to Google, because that's the main problem. Like, how can we make use of this project, or how can we make use of anything that we have encountered an error, something challenges that we have encountered. So right now, the thing is, first of all, you have to make sure that you do three or four things handy. What are they? First of all, W3 schools. Make this as your friend. Why? Because it's going to help you a lot. Whenever you are stuck and whenever you are going to find any article related to it, right? For example, over here in my screen also, you can see that I have selected for HTML. And here you can see that HTML elements. And if I want to learn about anything, so W3 schools is always going to be there. So make it a Bible for you. Anything you stuck upon, just Google it. And other than that, I would suggest you, not suggest you, but it would be must. That would be MD and docs. So when we Google MD and docs, consider this one, MD and docs. So this is MD and docs. So that is why the resource for developers by developers. So MDN is actually what it is previously Mozilla Developer Network and formerly Mozilla Developer Center. So MDN is official, like official one. Anything you are going to find related to anything, like for example, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, there is a new tech change, or there are the things that have been changed. So this is like a official website where you'll verify those things. Okay, is these things are correct or not? Okay, and then I would suggest you Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is going to really help you, not in only web development, but you can even ask your seniors or developers or software engineers who are working for more than a decade in this computer science engineering field or IT field. So Stack Overflow is like a Bible to them. Why? Because any error they are going to face. First of all, what they do, they Google it. So, and most probably, why they Google it? Because most probably the chances are that whenever you are getting a new error, so it's highly possible that this error has been also faced by someone else too. So Stack Overflow is a community of developers where developers help each other. How? Like for example, if I have contributed, or like if I can resolve someone's doubt over there, or if I have faced this challenge, right? So it's always about, so this community like Stack Overflow or GitHub is also very important to remember it, and Dave.to. So these are the communities which are about like helping each other, learning and growing together. So make sure these are like, I have also progressed GitHub community, right? So GitHub community is also there. So these are going to help you a lot things, because what generally happens in web development, there are the things like, for example, if you are installing any software or any particular module, so version has been changed, or there is some error, right? But these communities or these things are going to help you, because these are the practices of a good open source contributor or a good software engineer, that you do learn by helping each other. So that's how community works. Okay, and especially if we talk about this web development course, so especially in this tutorial, what we are going to do, we are going to make a HTML contact form, I should say, a contact form we are going to make, and it is going to be supposed, or it is going to be made upon like using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We'll be using it, and other than that. In this video, we are more focusing on learning or googling the things. For example, if we have faced some error, or if we have required any error, So how are going to be, or how we are going to look upon on internet? Because what I do believe is that internet is full of resources, right? And but you should know that what thing you should Google it and what thing you need to look upon. So internet is full of resources, so make use of it. So okay, let's have a look that how our contact form is going to look like. So our contact form is look like this, as you can see in this website, right? And it is also going to be responsive. What do you mean by responsive? A responsive website is like if we try to see it on a different devices, considering right now we are seeing this website on our laptop, but someone opens it on iPad, or maybe someone opens it in on his mobile phone or any other device. So for example, if I go on inspect and then I choose different devices over here, so you could see this one. Like for example, if I try to see it on iPhone SE, this is how it's going to look. And if we try to look on Galaxy Fold, it's going to look like this. If we try to look on iPad Air, it's going to look like this. So here it is not like getting out, or like it's not looking not good, right? I mean, it's looking good. It's not looking like it and on any other website. There's a term called code fadya. So code fadya, what do I mean by that? That there's some error in your code, or there's something that you have not done right. So for example, if I do resize my tab, if I do resize my tab, then too you can see over here that it's not, that this website is still working or adjusting its size according to the size available. Look over here, you can see. And if I try to shrink, you can look over here. So this is another part that we are going to talk upon. But here in this video, we are going to majorly focus upon, okay, what are our requirements and how are we going to do it. Okay. Cool. So in this, let's begin with this video. And first of all, I remind you again that you guys are taking a lot of efforts to make this video and this playlist. So make sure that you press the bell notification icon and subscribe the channel so that you can get aware of or notified of every single video we are putting. So not only technical videos, we are putting general videos related to the not only web development, but software engineer, data scientist, machine learning, everything. You are going to get it over here. And do make sure that you do also subscribe the channel and share this video with your friends also, so they can also, not this video particularly but the playlist, so that they can also get aware about it. So this is how our web page is going to look like. So let's start beginning with it. Okay, so for beginning with it, let's try to see. Okay, there's a folder name contact form that I made, and I'll be requiring these images. I have required these images download from internet. So over there you can see, okay, and these will be the font awesome icons. We'll get to know what are the font awesome icons and how can we use it. So first of all, I'll be creating a simple HTML file. Okay, so consider over here that I am going to create a HTML file. Consider index.html. So before directly beginning with it, let me give you an example of understanding that what is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is. So you can have a look on this image, this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what is an HTML? So HTML is basically a structure or a simple text or things that we often see. And CSS is about designing or like giving presentation or appearance. So for example, here you can see here's image of Deadpool we are using. So Deadpool here, you can see that this his skeleton is being used in HTML part. So you can see that the image is very raw. It's not. It's looking like it's not yet ready. It's giving that feel. But in CSS, it's giving like okay, like there's some dummy model, or it's like. But with the JavaScript, you can see he's now dancing and doing actions. So JavaScript is basically like it gives life. It gives life to an object or to any web page or any website that you are working upon. See, so simple. HTML is basically like, for example, if I want to write any text, or consider if I go to google.com. If I go to google.com. So here the HTML is like Gmail, images, and this text. These are right. But the presentation skill, the presentation thing, that how it's going to look. Okay, like for example, the search bar is in the center. But if it would have been in corner, so will it give you a good look? No, it won't. But now, as you can see that if I type anything and then you can see, and when pressing enter, so it is taking me to another page. So it means it's working. So there in the background, JavaScript is working. Not only JavaScript, but there are a lot of parts related to the full stack web development, which comes about this front end part, also back end part, also how is it rendering the page, how it is interacting or with client side, and how is it interacting with the server side too. So there are a lot of things just to understand in a nutshell that okay, JavaScript, the core difference is like HTML is basically a structure. HTML is basically a structure. CSS is like it's give you design, it gives you color, it makes it beautiful. But JavaScript makes it dynamic. So it could be put into action. So we can also perform some action. For example, if you say, hey, let me try to open gmail.com. If I try to open, if I'm opening Gmail, okay, you can see. So here there are a lot of things. And if I click on compose, so on compose, you can see if I type, if I write any, like, for example, if I want to write mail to coding ninjas. So, and if I give any subject to it, and if I write the mail, but if on pressing send button, suppose if your mail doesn't send out, then won't you be frustrated? Yes, you will be frustrated. And let me give you another example. Consider if you are ordering online food from Zomato and from all. So consider your money has been deducted from your amount, so from your bank account, but your order has not been placed yet. So will you be happy? I don't think so, right? You'll be talking to customer care executive and will be saying so many things to them that this is not working and all those stuff. So that's how a general idea about it. Like, okay, JavaScript is responsible to make it happen or to put these things into the action. So these are the basic things that we are going to cover, and most importantly, we are going to look over because it's about okay. Consider if I have stuck over, so I took help of this Stack Overflow. So it's not working. So what did I search? I searched for exclamation is not working in VS Code HTML. So this is an another because googling the things now that is an important skill and that is sometimes underrated because you should know internet or everything is available on the internet, but you should also know that okay, this is the part or these are the keywords or these are the things that you should look upon so you can find your answer to it. Otherwise it won't make any sense, right? So let's try to look upon that too. Okay. So what I did, exclamation is not working in VS Code HTML, and first link I got from Stack Overflow. So as we discussed, Stack Overflow is a community of developers or writers or those who have already those or users or those who have earlier faced the same error. So same error they have earlier faced, right? So you can see over here, hey, when I type this, it should have displayed image like this, but it's not. So what is the possible error or what are the possible things that we are going to cover over here? So over here, we got to see that, okay, this one, I already have a solution by this one. So yeah, so simply that what we did over here. Okay, so in this video, just to sum up the things or just to get the things to be very clear about it, what we are going to cover over here in this video is we are going to talk about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, and then we are going to talk about these things, how to Google things. Okay, and you also make sure or to make sure to check out these things or is W3 schools, MDN docs, then Stack Overflow, GitHub. There are many, although like Web.2 is also there. There's Medium also for blogs, checking out blogs. Okay, so but make sure that all these three or four are first of all you do check it. And why I'm saying from blogs also because everything I say this thing again and again in same video that do not make a habit or rigid, do not make a habit that okay, if you are going to learn any new thing that you learn only from videos. No, because first of all you are going to be a software developer and moreover a problem solver if you will be working in any company. Then your problem and then your logical thinking should be very much clear that how you do approach a new problem. Okay, so the thing is that, and it's not always possible that you are going to find a video for every problem that you are going to encounter. So make sure that you do learn from video, it's from articles and editorials as well. So this is going to be about how to Google things, or maybe search on internet. Okay. So this course will be all about Googling the things, because that is the uh, core part. Because you look, you should know, okay, this is my part. For example, if I want to make a front end part, or if I want to use a consider if I want to store database, if I want to store users entry, so I will be needing a database. And if I want to deploy it, then I will be needing a host service, or a cloud service, like for example Heroku, or maybe AWS or Azure, whichever I would be using. Then I'll be so there are a couple of things. Okay. And then if I want to use a version control system, so that I can track changes of all the files, that is GitHub, or maybe uh, any other thing that we are going to use. So there are tons of the things that would be available. Okay. But here we'll be learning Googling the things. Okay. This is my need, this is my requirement. I'm going to search for particular thing. Hey, I want to make a website, and what I'm going to, or like, what are the things that I need to learn upon, right? I mean, as how did you reach out to this video? You must have been typed, or you must have been seen that, okay, I want to learn, like maybe typed full stack development course on YouTube, and then you'll have been reached out to this video. It might be possible, right? Okay, cool. So let's begin with it. So first of all, so I was telling you about that. Apart from this is going to our structure. This is going to be our structure, and these are the images that we are going to use. Okay, phone image, and these are the images that we're going to use over here. Okay, so if I suppose if I want to write, or if I want to do anything, or want to consider, if I want to type hi in it, and then I will open this index.html. So you can see hi is written over here. Yes, is it? Okay. And then you can see over here also, this is document. So let's try to make it contact form. Now save it and reload the page. So you can see it has been changed to contact form. This title has been changed to contact form, right? Okay, cool. Then after that, what we are going to use, we are going to use, okay, we are going to use this one. So first of all, we are going to make a class. What are the class? So let's try to Google it. Class in HTML. So it is saying on W3 schools, HTML class attribute is used to specify a class for an HTML element. Multiple HTML elements can share the same class. The class attribute is often used to point this one. For example, over here in this example, you can see, okay, like if I click on try it yourself, so it is showing me this one, right? So what it has happened, it is given same thing, like the all the things that have been written in this, in the class, has been going to use the same property. So you could see over here that there's a class named city. So it is like it is like a mapping. So consider if you are living, or consider if you are locating, or if you're watching a movie, if you're watching a movie in a theater, and in the movie theater there are three theaters inside a mall. There are three theaters. So if I put so consider T1, T2, T3, theater 1, theater 2, theater 3. So if I say, hey, I want to, like, if I made such kind of things, hey, I want to put fire on my mall. So eventually, if I don't have any control, and if I don't do anything, so most probably the fire will also spread and will also get to the theater also, right? So I mean, the property that I've applied to the mall only, or the main building only, will get to the all. So you will spread to all the part of the, or you could say all rest of the parts of the building. So here you can also understand the same thing here also, that this dot city part, in this dot city part, you can see over here, consider if I make like this ones over here in this class container. Now if I say hi, Okay, so is it going to make change over here? No, it's not going to make any changes over here. First of all, we'll be also requiring a CSS. So how can we use a CSS over here? So for using CSS, we are going to use this style. Okay, we are going to use a style over here, and it is going to give me what? Not style, but it is going to give me. mm, let's Google the thing. Let's try to see. Okay, um, how to include CSS in HTML styles. Okay, so there are three ways of CSS, that is internal CSS, external CSS, and inline CSS. And we are going to see both, all these. Consider if there is a heading. If there is a heading, say a blue heading. So this is a H1 tag. So H1 tags are like this. Consider if I say, hey, this is my H1 tag. Okay, and this is going to my H2 tag. Hello. So if I now try to see over here, so you can see H1 is coming in this and hello is coming in this. So but now if I try to put a property over here, if I say hey style and I'm giving it what? Now if I try to give it a color as I was trying to give it over here also. Style, color, say I'm giving it blue. So this high will now be changed. This high will be now changed into what? Into blue color, as you can see over here. Simple. So that's how now. Okay, this is a inline CSS. This is a inline CSS over here. Inline CSS because it is in the same line. If we talk about the internal CSS, for the internal CSS, what we are going to use over here, let's try to see what example is given there. They have given like this one. Consider if I copy this and paste over here. Over here in what? But inside the style tag, you'll have to use a style tag. We're going to use a style tag over here. Okay, style tag, and I've written hey, if there is a h1 heading, so how is it going to identify? It is going to identify from the tag. So if there's a h1 tag in my HTML, like this is the body part, so and main code goes over here and here in this head tag. So let's also see about head tag, what it does. Head tag in HTML. So you could see head. So here in the highlighted, it is saying head element is a container for metadata and it is placed between HTML tag. So it is about and it contains these things like title, style, base, link. All these things are being defined over here. Okay. So if there was been H1 color, consider if I want to give it a maroon color. Okay. And then let's say now I try to remove from here as well. Now try to reload the page. You can see the color has been changed into maroon, right? The color has been changed into maroon. Okay, so cool. Now, if we try to, or if we talk about like, okay, it has been changed into maroon color. Now, the thing is, it was about what? It was about internal CSS. And now, if we talk about what? If we talk about external CSS. So for talking about the external CSS, we would be requiring this one, this link. So this is the way link ref. Okay, first of all, let's see what was the advantage of using inline CSS or this one. So you were saying that inline CSS was we were writing in the same line, but it doesn't give a good code readability. Right, code is very cluttered, or you code readability is very important. First of all, when you are working in a large code base, so make sure this is a really good habit. But here you can see that internal CSS is a very good thing in comparison to what we have earlier written. Why? Because now the code readability has been executed or like has been really good. Why? Because if someone is going through this, he can understand. He can easily understand that okay, there's a style tag, and if there is going to be any h1 tag inside this, so this is what going to be color of that. Okay. Now, if we talk about if we talk about this external CSS, so external CSS is this tag, this link tag we use for for what? For using external CSS. This is the way that we use it. This is relation. This is that is telling it is a style sheet, and this href is styles.css. So it means that okay, there's an external file. It's same as like importing any module, or if you have worked in any programming language, maybe Python or Java. So in or C++. So in C++ we include header files. Remember hash include, and in Python we include modules, import modules. So same thing here. It goes like this one, but we'll also have to make this file styles.css. So let's try to make this over here, styles.css. So now I'm saying, hey, if there is going to any h1, then color what? Yellow. Give it color yellow. Okay, Control S. Let's now try to reload the page. Yes, you can see over here, right? This one. Okay, so now this has been done. So you have got the understanding. Okay, like this is our styles.css. Okay, and after that, what we are going to use? We are also going to use font awesome, font awesome icons. So let me tell you about font awesome. What is font awesome is? So I was talking you that how our page is going to look like this. Facebook, Twitter, these are the images we are not going to make. Okay, and now not also we are going to use any image, but this is the these are the font awesome icons that would be available in the font awesome. So over here you could see in font awesome Facebook consider. So if I try to copy this part and paste it over here, now try to reload the page, but it's not working. Why? Because we have to use, or we have to include font awesome. So same again, we'll also Google the same thing. How we are going to Google? We are going to see how to use font awesome, how to use font awesome in HTML. So you can see this one, this part is going to give us font awesome, and it is a link, type of link. So we are going to include, or we are going to include it in our head tag only, inside our head tag. So now save it, and you can also go through this documentation. That's why I was saying you that W3 school, even when you Google it now, so look how the ranking is coming, everything is available on it. So make sure that you put a very good, make it a Bible first of all. So here it is showing you that okay, what is the font awesome? So font awesome is like basic icons. To use the font awesome icons, add the following inside this one. This is only you need to use. For example, if someone is used car and something like that. Now try to reload the page, and you can see, look, this Facebook has come up. Yeah, I didn't have to use anything. Although this is the part that we are going to use later, but still, it's about how we are going to use this thing inside this. Okay, all right. And then there is a div class container, and then we are also going to make a div class, say form. We are also going to make a div class of form. Okay, okay. So it also gives you in this way, like you don't have to need, or you don't have to write in each in everything, right? So this is how it's going to work over here as well. All right. So let's also make a compare form. Yep. So it is also going to give me this. Yeah. So I'll share with you how we are going to do it, and why will be why we have actually required it, or why we have gone in this way. Okay, we're going to into the detailed version, like why we are doing this. So first of all, for understanding it in a better way, we're going to say, okay, like this is how our page is going to look like. So over here we are going to use this Poppins family. So there are lots of things that are available, but I'm going to use this Poppins CSS Poppins font Poppins. So it has many select style or many styles for available for the font that we are going to cover, we are going to use. So okay, so for importing CSS font, Poppins font, you just have to copy paste this URL over here. Although you can also look over here also. So I was trying to import it, but I wasn't able to. Then again, Stack Overflow got my back. So that's how I imported it over here. So this was the part that I've included in my here also, right? Okay. So now we are going to begin with it. And what we are going to begin and what we are going to write, we are going to first of all write, hey, my margin should be 0. My padding padding should be 0. Box sizing should be border box, right? Okay, first of all, let's try to look upon that also, like what are these fields, right? What are these fields that are working? What is box sizing and this? So let's write to this Google box sizing, CSS box sizing. So over here you can see this box sizing. So box sizing property defines how the width and height of an element are calculated. Should they include padding and borders or not? So if we try by yourself, right? So you can have a look example over here. You can see that width and height only apply to the content of the element. And when box sizing is border access, then width and heights apply to all the parts of the element, right? So these are the parts like whether it should include or not include. That's why we are taking box size as a border box. And margin and padding is about like how much space or how much space we want to give it from left side or top side or bottom side or left side, like margin top, left, right. So for example, you can also search the same thing over here too. If we talk about margin, so yeah, this one. So margin is like margin property sets the margin for I mean it's English, like how we are giving the margin to an element. Okay, so that's it that we are going to give. And then in the body part, this star, first of all, this asterisk part is it is going to apply for all the elements, universal. So this is a universal, so this is applying to whole. And now what we want, there would be body part, there would be input part, and there would be text area. We are yet to see what are they, but still we can say, okay, what we want for them, my font family should be what, it should be Poppins and sans serif. Yep. And then what do I want, consider over here. Okay. Let's try to first save it and see. Here you can see, look how is that we changed. There's been no padding and margin. Earlier it was slight below. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to say to our container class, we are going to apply what we are saying, hey, my position should be relative, my width should be 100% of the size of the device that I'm using, so it should consume this. And my minimum height should be this vh, it is view height, that is my view height that I'm seeing. And my padding should be considered to rem, and my, let's say my background color is red. So now if we try to see over here, you can see complete, right? Because it is taking complete width. So let's try to assume, or let's try to identify, let's try to say how, why is it coming in this way. First of all, over here we have made this container. So consider it, this is your what, this is your state, this is your what, this is your district, this is your city, and this is your house, and this is you. Okay, so what I'm saying, hey, if these are the parts, if I apply the same property to it, if I say, hey, I want to apply, if I want to color, consider I'm living in Uttar Pradesh, if I want to color Uttar Pradesh with red color, I want to paint Uttar Pradesh with red color. So ultimately this district, this city, this house where I'm living, right? So all those things will also will get painted by itself. Okay, so that's why it is coming in this way. Cool. So, but yeah, first of all, let's also try to assume, or let's try to analyze the things that we have used in CSS also. Like this background color is clear, this padding is clear, this position. Okay, if we talk about the position, so let's try to see position in CSS. Position. So what it is going to be? Position property specifies the type of positioning method used for an element, that is static, relative, fixed. So we have used relative. So let's try to look upon relative. So an element with position relative is positioned relative to its normal position. So for example, if we try to it by itself, so it is saying position is relative and it is left by 30 pixel. Relative is what? Relative to its parent. Relative to its parent. So here you can see this, and its parent is what? Its parent is this body, because it is inside this. So here from the body it is what? It is 30 pixel to the left. Okay, cool. So that's what we have seen over here. And minimum height is like, okay, this is the minimum height of the container that I want. That okay, it should be 100 of VH. So VH is what? VH is VH in CSS. So it is of view height or viewport percentage, depending on the browser default viewport size. Yeah. So this is depending upon, okay, like I'm using this browser, so this is the going to be like this much width, and this is going to be the or like width height or this one. All right, cool. We have discussed this part, and instead of using this red color, let's try to use this. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, try to use this only. Mhm. And overflow is what I'm going to do. Overflow I'm going to hidden. Overflow I'm going to do hidden. And for the form class that we have used for this class, what we are going to say, we are going to say, hey, your width should also be 100%. Your maximum width should be say 820 pixel. Your height should be 500 pixel. Okay, and your background color should be what? Red. Let's try to run it now. Yeah, cool. So here you can see over here this one, but now we'll also have to make, okay, a display as flex, this align items to be of center. But we are going to see that too, that how is it going to make difference. First of all, let's try to look on display flex. Display flex. So display flex is what it is about, like block or inline or table or position that we want to make, or in this part. So for example, here you can see this. Try to resize the window. So if I now try to stretch it, it's going to go in this. But now as I try to move it in this direction, so you can see over here they have resized themselves. Although it's not very much, but yeah, we are able to see that. Okay. So that's how we are going to see over here also, to start using the uh, or foreseeing the flex part over here as well, right? So for example, look over here, you can see as it is available, I'm giving it width. Now it is shrinking. Now it has been increased. Okay, right. So we have got this part also. Cool. Now let's try to jump into the another part. We have been align item center. We are going to see why we are aligning the items into the center, and then justify content and also center part. So with this, it's going to come into the center. Yes. it has come into the center. So yeah, it's going to come into the center. And now what we are going to do, we are going to give it a border radius. Okay. Mm, let's try to give it this one would be fine. 10 pixel would be fine. Border radius, box shadow, 0, 0, 20 pixel, 1 pixel, and RGBA 0, comma 0, comma 0, comma 0. Point one. Okay. And then we will be also giving it Z index. Z index is 1000. Okay. So now if we try to look, this is how, right? So what it is going to do, let me try to explain all those things over here, what I've used. So here you could see this part, this white part is coming along, like it's coming out of that part. It's coming out of why it is because of Z index. So what is Z index? So Z index is about Z index property specify, this is like specifies the stack order of an element, and an element with a greater is always front of an element. So it is like if I have it given it Z index, right? It is a, because earlier this container is also a part of body, but if I have given this if I've given this Z index, so it is like it is going to see me, or I'm going to say it uniquely from rest of the things. For example, if you say that how do I explain this with an example? Consider during the Diwali time, there's always during Diwali time there's a picture, viral picture going on WhatsApp or an internet that hey, NASA has captured a picture of India. How was it looking from above and all those, right? But you know also that that is a fake image. It's not possible. But still, you see that okay, India has been like rest of the islands or rest of the countries are not looking. They are looking dark, but on India you can see there's light reflecting on, so it is looking unique from rest of the elements. So that's how this Z index is like. If you want that okay, this part should is the part of the body, but this should be more visible, or like it should like it is popping out or coming out. So that's how Z index works upon. All right, and then we are about this box shadow. So this box shadow is what it is going to do. Like try it yourself. So you're going to see over here. Look, like this shadow. This is just this one is coming, right? You're seeing over here. So that is the shadow, or that is the shadow part that we have seen it. Right now you're not going to. It's not very much visible. But if I say, hey, I want to give it like consider 120 pixels would be more, very much more. But let's see. Yeah. You can see over here. I don't know if it's visible to you, but it has been. Let me try to say 20, 20, 20 on the parts. Right now it has been gone from all the values, but you have got, so you can play or fiddle around with it. Okay, like how is it going to work in that? All right, I'll make it as it was. Yeah, yes, it's looking fine. And here overflow is hidden. Overflow is like I don't want my parts to be overflow. So we'll see that overflow hidden, and display is going to be in what? Display is going to be, and that display is going to be in a scenario in a grid part, and grid template columns is going to be of repeat. Okay, and what we are going to repeat? We're going to repeat one. Okay, let's try to see over here. You can see, don't worry, you'll see as we will add more elements to it, then you'll be able to see that. Okay, now there's another class that is contact info. Contact info, we're going to see, hey, My background color is green, and contact form. My background color is what? Red. Look, how is it coming, right? I mean, it is coming in this way, but first of all, let me try to remove or this heading from over. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. Okay, this div is completed. This is this part, and this part. Yeah. Okay. And okay, so we guys were doing a mistake over here, and we were saying this like it should be like there are two parts. Okay, there are two parts we can see over here. Considering this one, try to look this. So this is the part that we have to make. Okay, so there are two div you can see. So but here color is not present. Why? Because ultimately it should be outside of this one. So it should be like this. There are two. This is one is contact info and another is contact form. Over here also you can see this is contact info and this is going to be contact form. So now if we try to refresh it, then you are able to see, okay, this is the part that we have got about. Okay, so cool. So rest of the things are going to remain same, but what we are going to do, mm, okay, we have tested this part also and it is coming good. But now as contact form is have to be tweaked a little bit, it's not going to remain the same as always. So what we are going to do over here, we are going to write these things over here. Mm, Deleting this, not deleting, but actually we'll be needing span. So span is for using the span dot circle, like writing any text. So span dot circle. So span is about let me tell you what is span is. Span in HTML. So span tag is an inline container you can see over here, which is used to color a part of text, like anything that I want to use or anything specific that I want to write. For example, if I say, hey, this is, and I have written this part. So maybe any functionality that I want to use on that part only. So span is used inside any paragraph tag or something like that. Okay, cool. Um, Circle. Okay, and we'll be needing actually two spans for that. Let me try to copy this circle 1 and circle 2, right? And we are going to do one thing like contact form and then background color for contact form. We are going to fill with, consider this, 1A, B, C, 9, and position will again would be relative. Okay, and now if we want to see over here, so it should be, yeah, perfect. Okay, and this circle for the circle width would be what, 100 pixel, and height we are giving is 100 pixel also. Okay, and we are giving border radius, and we are also going to give it a border radius which is of 50%, and background not background color, but background is red, and position would be of what? It would be absolute really to its parent. And I'll try to see. Yeah, so we are able to see this circle over here. But ultimately, we have to get it, and we are going to see. We have to make it in a shape of a triangle. Yeah. So let's see. We're going to see dot circle dot one. Okay. So there are the two classes. That is circle one, and we're going to apply the property that okay that width should be 130 pixel and height should be what? Height is of I think height also should be 130 pixel. And then we can say hey from top it should be consider 130 pixel from there too, and from right we are saying consider okay from right we want from this part, so it should be like minus 40 pixel. Let's try to see. Oh, we got it over there. See, Control C and Control V. It should be 2 as well from here. Okay, these are the two circles that we are actually trying to make. That's these one. I mean, this is going to tell you about like how we are going to play with the CSS property, although it's not much more of a thing. But here we are going to fiddle with CSS part. So okay, for that part, I think the circle. We can say that our border radius is fine. Okay, border radius is fine, but let's try to make a background. We are trying to give it a linear gradient, and we will give it 155 degree. Consider transparent 20%. Okay. Um, and it is 1.9 to 79. Okay. And let's try to give it 80, 80, and it should be 10 pixels. So over here, yeah, you can see. But there are the two circles. So how we had tried or how we are going to see over here, we have just manipulated it. Okay, let me also explain you the same thing that we have used background linear gradient. Background linear gradient CSS. Okay, so if you talk about linear gradient, so gradient what it is like, so CSS gradient lets you display smooth transition between two or more specified colors. So like there are linear gradient, right? So which goes up, left, right, and diagonally. So you can see over here, for example, this top to bottom, right? So these colors are like interchange or intermixed or something like that. So that's how we have done over here also, right? You can see like slightly there is a like from there to there you can see from left to right. Okay, cool. We have got this part. So it's always it's about like how are we going to manage or how we are going to follow. So all the thing is available. Again, I'm repeating on internet. You just have to look upon. Okay, what are the things that we have to try. Okay, now coming to the contact form, we are going to apply property that okay this sorry content property we are going to fill. Okay, later, but as of now position should again be absolute. Position should be absolute. Width should be what do you say, width should be in this case we are taking care of this, and okay, cool. So width is going to be 26 pixels. And if we talk about the height, then it's going to be 26 pixel as well. Okay. And if we say about background color, so let's try to make it red as of now and try to see where is it getting. Oopsie, something has been changed. Mm, okay, I need to put it on before. Yeah, so here it is coming, right? Then I also need to change its height as well. Mm, then we need to transform, rotate it for 45 degree. Yeah, it has been rotated. And then we are saying here, it should be from top, it should be 50 pixel. And from left, it should be what? Minus 13 pixel. Why minus? Because it will take from left side. Yeah. So that's how we want this diamond shape to be look. And we want it to be of the same color, right? So what we are going to do? Okay. So we are going to give it a same color as this one, this background color. So you can look over here. Okay. After this, we're going to say, hey, there's going to be a form that would be of index.html. Currently, we are taking it nowhere, and there would be s3 dot title. It would be contact us. Okay, and then there would be a div dot input container. Okay, and then there would be a input type text, and name will also be, name is going to be name, right? So this is the input. So for form, you can see like if we are going to create a form, right? So what are the fields that we will be required? So you can see or you can check over here. It's me try closing these many tabs first. So yeah, let's try to look over here. Forms in HTML. So here goes into W3 skills. So you can see, okay, there's a form element and then there would be the input element. So input element is used most form element. So input is going to contain what? It is of type text and it could be of type radio button that we see while filling the form, choosing male or female if you remember. And then there are the checkbox like declaration form or something like that when you fill. So there are a lot of things and text fields. So for example, here also you can see an example. So there's input type name and first name and last name. Yeah. So that's how we are beginning with it also. So we are writing the same thing here as well. And here we are giving it a class. Class is what? Class is input, see, and we are making it of required. We want it to be of required type. And then we are making a label. Label is what? So for example, over here in this example also you can say label is first name. So input is actually going to create this box, this thing, this blank box, and this label is going to be in front of that or for that placeholder. So this is going to give me this one. All right. And then okay, then we were using label for like this one. We were using label for this yeah, label for this class we are going to use over here, and we are saying here label for um, and then same for username, right? And we are going to copy the rest of the things. Control C, Control V for the 3 times, 4 times. I mean, as many fields are required. So, okay. So over here you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. So here type would be of what? Type is of email. Name is of what? Email. Email. Right. And here we are asking what? Here we are saying phone. So type is of what? Type is of tel, and name is what? Phone. Okay. Phone. And then we are going to be a message. So for the message part, we are going to see, but we are just going to not make an input, but we are going to just make a text area. Okay, I'm just going to have a class that is will be what input. So we why we are giving a class. So class is for so that we can give a same thing to all those point. Okay, and it is of message, right? And yeah, and label for message. So yeah, it's not good looking yet, but we'll see how can we get into that thing also. So let's try to see over here, and then there would be also there would be of input type submit. So submit button we are going to make value is going to be what send, and class, let's make a class of type if it is a button. So let's try to make it a as a button. Control S, and let's try to see. Yeah. So simple contact form is ready yet, but not much good looking. Rest of the part is like about how we are going to manage or how we are going to see the things, right? So okay, so let's start over here. Here we are saying, hey, my form should have a padding from top, bottom, left, right. So from top REM and bottom as well REM. So it's a unit. It's a unit like how we see in pixels or in this. So you can see REM in CSS. So this is relative to the font size of the root element. So if we talk about over here CSS units, so REM, REM, yeah. So if you want to try it, so here you can see the font of this element is this, so relative to the font size. So it is like you can read about it. Okay, what is this unit is, how many REMs is, and how it is equivalent to other units that we use. Okay, cool. So now, and we also have to give it a Z index, say 10, and overflow, say hidden. Okay, and position is also relative as well. So over here you can see, yeah, it has come down to here. And now what we are going to do, we are going to say a title should have the color. Okay, and font weight is what 500, and font not font family, but font size is of what? Font size. Let's try to give it a 1.5 REM. Okay, all right. And then let's try to see. Yeah, you can see this contact us is coming in this way. Why? Because over here you can see this contact us we have given it what? Where does it went? This class title. Where? Okay. So cool. And line height is of what? Let's try to give the line height of 1 and say margin bottom. We are going to give it of 0.7 rem. So yeah, here you can see it's coming in this part. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's try to say now try to make this input container. Try to put CSS in there. Let's try to position relative over here. So when we give it a relative position relative and also give margin 1 from top and this right. Yeah. So it looks in this way. So we have been getting over here. We are why is it coming in dark mode? Just a sec. Okay, this username, just we have put it over here. Okay, no. Yeah, I think it looks good, and we can begin with this one, this part, and after that you can see it's looking like in this part. Yeah. Okay, cool. We have got this thing. Now what we are trying to do over here is we are trying to put some label because it should also be aligned. So first of all, display is none. So as I do display is none, what is going to happen? It's going to vanish, right? I mean, display none means it's going to vanish from this zone. So it's not anymore there. So what we are going to do, we are saying, hey, now my input class, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say my weight should be of 100%. And if we talk about this one part, so as soon as we put this as 100% over here, so you can see now if we try to do refresh, yeah, so it is now coming in full part, which was the requirement. I mean, we are going to in the correct direction. And if we talk about outline, so outline, you can say none. And let's try to see what happens with the outline when we did it. Okay, so now if we try to refresh it, okay, so there's no outline over here. And now if we say, hey, my border should be 2 pixels solid, 2 pixels solid, and what color is we're going to give it. Okay, so we are going to give it consider this one, and then background. So we are not giving any background. Okay. So if we now write anything, it's going to be this way. Okay, and cool. So now also try to give it a padding 0.6 RAM and 1.2 RAM from here as well. Okay, so now here you can see there will be padding coming. Look, yeah. So padding is like inside the element or inside that we are trying to type. So here you can see that there's a spacing between these characters, right? So that's how we are able to see it. Okay, done with this part. And just make sure, so whatever thing that I am doing, whatever the thing I'm doing over here is just purely based upon all those stuffs that are being used over here as well. Okay, cool. So this one is done, padding part is done. And then what we are going to do, okay, now we are going to use this color part that is off. Okay, and then we are going to say, hey, now my font weight, it should also be It should be okay. Font weight should also be 500. Yeah, and font size. Let's try to make it as 0.9 area. Okay, we are done with this, and now try to see letter spacing is going to be of what 0.5 pixels. So now we try to see, yeah, you can see this is much better than it used to be. Okay, we're done with it, and let's try to make a border radius. Let's try to give it a border radius because you can see over here it is in a rectangular format as of now. But we have to make it in an oval shape, so we have to give it a border radius of 25 pixel and transition. And transition would be of what? And transition will be of 0.3 second. I think 0.3 second. It should work. Okay, let's try to see. Yeah, much better than it used to be. And now what we are going to do. Okay, so this transition is about like consider this. This is like how it is reflecting. So it is reflecting about in 0.3 second. This line you are seeing, right? Okay, now we are going to see this text area. This text area dot input. It is what it is going to give me a padding. Let's give it a padding of 0.8. RVM 1.2 RVM. Okay, and then minimum height. Minimum height. Let's try to give it 150 pixels. Okay, we have to run it and let's try to give it a border radius. Border radius of 522 pixels is what it's going to work. Let's try to see. Yeah. Okay, but I think here if we try to see, okay, over here we can resize it, right? Look, but this is not what we want. When we have to resize it, so how can we do it? We can say here resize none, but overflow in Y should be auto. Yeah. So now it's like that. that. Yeah. Pulse now it makes more sense. Okay, we're done with this part, and then we're going to do what? Okay, we are done with this, and now okay, let's not say that. Let's not say that uh, displacement. Let's try to remove that as well. Yeah, so it is coming in this way, but now it's not looking good. So what you're going to do, we are going to make a input container, because you can see this message has been done and that button is not present over here. So we're gonna say label the position should be absolute. Okay, now it doesn't look good yet, and it should be 50% from top, and from left it should be 15 pixels. Yeah, now much better. And let's also transform. Let's use transform. Using transform over here, and you need to translate migration from minus 50%. Okay, how is it going to work? Yes, it is much better now. Let's see, padding is from here, REM, and color is this. Okay, font size is 0.9 REM, and this font weight is going to be of 400. Yeah, now it looks much better, but I think it's coming bold. No, why it's coming bold. Alright, we'll find it later on, and then we'll see. Pointer event should be none. And if we talk about keyword index, then it should be 1000. So let's see. Okay, but here you can see it's still there. You can see if I'm typing anything, so it's not looking good, right? So we'll have to add an animation over here. So you can see as I'm here, so it's going to be in there. Yeah. So that's a more kind of a designing part, you can say, or something like that. But if we want to make, or if we want to say now that okay, from left we just want it for 5 pixels, so that too you can also do over here. Not 5 pixel, but if I say it's 15 pixel, yeah. So it's working, but it's I know it's not looking very much well, but so that's why we are not going to do anything with it. Okay, so yeah, let's try to use to be as it was earlier, and we are going to add the animation later in the part, so stay uh, for that. And yeah, we're going to see we're done with this part. Okay, and let's also try to add a transition for 0.5 second. Okay, and then this input container text area, and inside this label it is going to present what. So inside this text area, the thing that is going to be present, right over here, you can see. Where did it went? Yeah. So text area you can make, and text area for level you can say hey, it should be from top, it should be 1 area, and transform. Okay, and now you can see over here. Yeah. Now it's more in the way of like if you're giving anything to it. So you can see if we type, try to give it anything. Yeah. So that's how it's coming. But ultimately it should be like this button. Let's also try to give it button padding 0.6 RDM and 1 and border should be of a pixel solid black. Not solid black, but solid. This one should work. Yeah. Okay. And this also will have to give like first of all font size 95 REM. So most of the part that we are doing over here is of design. So there's no need about that. Okay, like these are the things that we have to take care of on like external. But here we are learning CSS part that we are going to use. Okay. So color we can give it consider as one ABC 9C. Okay. So these are actually color codes. Color codes can be found on internet very easily. You can search for color codes for CSS. So that's how I'm using it. You must be thinking that I'm using this color. How is it coming in this way? So these are the color codes. So you'll have to look up on internet, like there are different ones. Okay. So yeah, color. There used to be an app also like for color picker for CSS. Yeah, there used to be color picker. Mm, oh, I don't know. I don't remember the name. But here it is going. It is giving me hex code. So this is hex code actually that I'm using. Color picker. I think you can download any color picker, and yeah, this one. So after downloading this, so you can click on anywhere in your window, and it will give you hex code for that particular color. So that's helpful in learning the things. Okay, we are done with this. Let's try to see how does our code look. Okay. Now let's purchase line height also one. Instead of border radius should be of what? 25 pixel. Yeah. Okay. And now it is saying a outline. There should be no outline. Okay. Right now it is outline, but then there would be no outline. Yes. And then we are saying our cursor should be a pointer. So what is going to do? As soon as I hover over this, as soon as I will, right now it's nothing, but as soon as I hover over it, it will look. It has been changed to pointer. Okay, and now there should also be a transition, transformer transition of 0.3 second. And then we are making this button over time. When we'll hover on this button, then my background color will going to be changed, and look over here, as in this expected, this one, it's going to change. Okay. So it is going to change in what? In this only. As soon as I hover it. Okay, let's try. You can see. Okay, it should not be like this, but it should be transparent. Transparent. Okay, we have made it on hovering the button, but we are making sure that it should be of transparent. Button background color is transparent, and the color should be of what? Okay, of course. Now this text color should be of white. Look, this text color is also being changed. Okay. Now, okay, now I can remove the height that I set to from container because now we have container inside it. Right now we can add the input information also. And first we have to make the empty space that we have in the top border when the input get focus. Right. So we can do that by adding a span element to each input container with the name of the input element as same. So yeah, that's how we are going to do. I'm going to say here span username span email span phone. Okay. And span message. Okay. And after that you will be able to see. Okay, that this part has been come. Okay, but what we are going to do over here, we are going to do in CSS. We are going to make a inside input container. There is any span, then make its position to be absolute, and from top it should be 0, right? And from left it should be 25 pixel. Okay, and for here, for the designing part, or like for here, how we are trying to maintain, or we are going to see over there. So we are just taking care of the thing that how it's going to look like. Consider over here. Here you can see, yeah, here it seems to look like this, and then we are going to do, we're going to see here transform it, translate y into minus 25. Okay, and then minus 50% also. Okay, and then we're going to see font size. Consider 0.8 rem, and padding we have given 0 from here, 0.4 rem from here as well. Color is transparent, and pointer events is like none, and z index we have given 500. Okay, yeah, and now what we are going to do, we are going to make a property over there like unspan before. Okay, and input container and after. Okay, and what we are going to do, we are going to make, okay, say content is of this type, and say position is absolute. Position is absolute. Okay, position is absolute, and here, okay, now we are going to do what? I'm going to make it with 50%, right? And height is of what? 5 pixel. And background color is of what? Green. For now, we are taking this. And from top, it should be 50%. Okay. And then we are transforming it. We are transforming it. Um, translate y minus 50%. Yes. So now let's try to see. Okay. How's it going to take an effect, or how's it going to make use of this? So for now, we have given it this part. Okay. Okay, we are translating it in the right direction from minus 50%, and from top we have given it for the 50%. Okay, and okay, after this, as we try to do. So we were able to achieve this part, and we were able to make this part like this contact form, right? But there is also a little trickiest part as I was going through this code, like this hovering part and all. So maybe you won't be able to understand that as of now because it is a little complex, like how DOM manipulation, that is document object model, DOM manipulation. You can read about it. DOM in JavaScript. So make sure you read about it first, then you will get to know okay how is it going to happen. But as of now, this contact form is very simple. So what I would suggest you that this part is simple that I have made on the right part. So what I would suggest you leave that functionality, leave this okay, and this how designing should work or how it should look, but try to make this left part. So I'll try that you guys should try this part. Okay, so take this as an homework. So try to complete this as soon as possible. And to make sure that first of all, so in this video, what we do have learned, I'm again revising, saying the same thing that we have learned how to Google things and how to study from there. Look, there is you are human and a human tend to forget things. So, but the best part about web development thing is that you don't even need to remember or learn it in hard-coded manner. So everything is available on the internet. Whenever you want to do, you just have to. But yeah, of course, logic part it shouldn't be like okay, DSA or like problem solving skill are also available. But no, problem solving ability is available here. These are just tool or part, but you should know. Okay, like for designing, I'm going to use it or font or some and the things that we later figure it out. Okay, so this is from me, Yogesh, and I'll be signing off. And do make sure that you do subscribe the channel. And if you find this video, then please make sure you share it with your friends so they can also take benefit of this. And again, to remind this video is a part of our new playlist on full stack web development. So do make sure that you do watch all the videos. Thank you. Thanks a lot.